Miss WOC Reader, and welcome welcome back to my channel. I know some of you have joined recently. Thank you so much for subscribing. And May has just been kind of a month. I was kind of in a rut, and then I decided to take a vacation to Chicago because I figured I have the most time to travel than I'll ever have. They said May and June are the perfect months to visit Chicago. And instead of putting it off till next year, I might as well do it now. And I'm glad that I went. I did have a good time. I got to see some museums and do some stuff by myself. I'm getting more comfortable solo traveling, and I really do appreciate it because you don't have to like wait on anybody else. You can just get up and go and do what you want to do and go at your own pace. So I had a good time. Like, I got to see some museums and see some cool art and visit a really cool library. So hopefully I'll be able to show you guys more of that because I did try and get some little video footage here and there. But enough about Chicago. I haven't been reading as much this month, or I've been reading, I just haven't been finishing as much. Like, my reading has been really slow. But I did want to talk about the books that I read so far and what I'm currently reading. But I'm going to do something a little bit different and start off with a DNF. This one is Manila Takes Manhattan, and this one is by Carla de Guzman. I was really interested in reading this. I know she has other books. I've just never read any of her other books. And I think her other books might be like in indie. But this did not work for me at all. Right off the bat, we're in a COVID situation. Like, still very strict restrictions. People masking up. Did you get vaxxed? And so it's very weird to start the book off with a hookup. Like, after asking the person if they got vaxxed, inviting, like, having our main female heroine just kind of invite this man into her apartment and try to have sex with him, and she doesn't even know what he looks like underneath his mask yet. And then it, like, the intimate moment between them was just weird. He didn't even, like, he just got off a 15-hour flight. He didn't even wash his ass, let alone his hands, before they start going at it. And they just had no chemistry right off the bat. And this is chapter 1 that all this happened in. I'm like, if chapter 1 was that bad, there's no hope for the rest of the book for me. So I said, let me let it go, DNF'd, and I'm gonna end up giving this copy away because if I can't get through chapter 1, it's not worth keeping on my shelf. That brings us to current reads. So I have It Waits in the Forest by Sarah Dass. I did start this one. I am a few chapters in. So far so good. I just need to really sit down and read more of it. But I've read Sarah Dass before, and I'm liking the vibe of this story, and I'm curious to see where it goes. And we have The Supernatural Files of C.J. Delaney. I thought I would breeze through this one, but honestly it's taking me longer because I feel like the voice is a little bit old for middle grade. Like, she doesn't talk like a child that age, so that keeps throwing me off a little bit. And we've been having this discussion recently about middle grade where it's leaning more and more YA feeling, and it's just not necessarily fitting the target. I'm hoping this one turns itself around, but so far it's okay, but it's not like fully holding my attention. Ex Marginalia, so I was supposed to read this one 2 months ago. I am more than halfway through this now, so I should have it finished by the end of the month. And it did take me a little bit of time to get into this collection just because the first few essays weren't appealing to me. This one is following various marginalized authors who are talking about their experience in the speculative space. So a lot of the essays are just like their journey towards publication and the ways in which they've had to reflect on their writing against like our regular world. So the first few essays, like I said, weren't really vibing with me, but then I read one that I was able to relate to, and it kind of caught my interest, and now I just have like a few more to go through, and there's like 1 or 2 that I'm still super interested in. This isn't like a craft book as in like you'll learn about writing. It's more just like a reflection of these authors' experiences. This is Abby in Orbit Mission Moon. This is the fourth book in the Abby and Orbit series. And I just find this little chapter book series super adorable. I think it's just going to be great to get the kids interested in space. And it gives them a fun and unique adventure while also introducing them to different science concepts. I just remember as a child hearing so much about space and being so fascinated by that world, and I feel like we don't have as much media that does that anymore, so it's really cool to pick this up. Plus we're following like a young Afro-Latina as the main character. We see her family living on this space station, and this one she's going on a field trip to the moon with some other people from the space station and her few like classmates, which consist of all the kids on the space station. I thought this one was super adorable and a great addition to the series, and I hope they continue with this series because it is something that I can enjoy with my niece, and it opens up some great discussions. I also read Wednesday Wilson Gets Down to Business, which was another chapter book. It is about a little girl who is really interested in owning her own business and becoming an entrepreneur. So she's trying to think of something that she'll be able to market and sell. It does introduce kids to the concepts of business, which I feel is important. When I was teaching financial literacy in the schools for those like J in a Day events, we also taught about entrepreneurship and kind of had the kids imagine what it would be like to run their own business, like come up with like advertisements for it, what like the website design, what product they're going to sell, etc. It's really cool to just get kids to start thinking about that even at a young age. And so I liked introducing that concept through this book. I thought it was an easy way to kind of ease kids into that. And Wednesday, she's kind of a little bit of a mess. And she definitely gives her moms a run for their money. And while her idea isn't solely original, she does learn a valuable lesson. I also read Fake It Till You Bake It by Jamie Wesley. This one is a romance one that I was supposed to read like a while back and then I didn't get to it. So I finally got to it. And it was a good listen. I did the audiobook. It wasn't like super different. So in this one we are following this woman. She's like around 25 maybe, and she just got off of a reality show, which is like one of those The Bachelor type reality shows, where she ended up not accepting the proposal. So she's kind of a pariah, and she's really lost as to what she wants to do with her life and how she's going to get her money and stuff. So her grandmother has this trust for her, but she's like, you have to show that you're able to work hard before you get access to this trust. And her parents are just like kind of disappointed she didn't take school seriously and she's directionless in life. On the opposite side, we have this football player. He has this bake shop that he owns, like where he does cupcakes. This is like his business that he established while he's still playing, so that he has something for when he ends up retiring. And he's a free agent up for a new contract, so he's in the middle of negotiating his new contract. They start fake dating to kind of get the haters off of her back and also help his business. And it was decent. Like, I can't say it was too stand out compared to the other fake dating books that I read. For the most part, I'm kind of over fake dating because I just find like a lot of authors just like almost force it to be a thing. So I still read them, but there's like a handful where I'm actually like, oh my gosh, like this book was so good, this book did something. But it's a decent read. I read A Seduction of Dreams and Nightmares by A.J. Locke. This one was a paranormal erotica, and I really do appreciate A.J. Locke's brand of paranormal erotica. Like, sometimes like when I read these types of stories, they can be hit and miss for me because I feel like I don't have like enough development to really care outside of the sex. She does give you just enough development of the characters, whether it be their everyday life, their hopes and dreams, and the things they want to accomplish, as well as giving us different details about the world in these stories. So this one was no exception. In this one we have an incubus, a vampire, and a human, and a magical pleasure den, and lots of spice. Like, this one was filthy. So if that is up your alley, definitely check it out. But I loved seeing like how she moved them along. Like, I mean, the sex scenes were great, but she really did develop a cool world here, and she gives you enough of an interesting story where you need to know what's going to happen in book 2. So while they're in this like world, they're trying to find a cure for being a fiend, which are these magical creatures in this world. A lot of these creatures are just tired of being immortal and not feeling like they have a purpose, and so there's definitely a big hunt for the cure. For all, I had a great time with this one and I highly recommend it. Waiting for Friday Night by Cynthia Williams is the second book in the Peachtree Cove series. I enjoyed this one. So in this one we're following Hallie and we're following Quentin. Hallie is Imani from the first book cousin, and one thing I appreciate about Cynthia Williams is I don't feel like every like person who's featured in a previous book needs their own book, but she gets you to want to see them in their own book. She drops enough little tidbits in the previous story where you don't have to read it to follow along with this book, but you see like some of the foreshadowing and it gets you interested in seeing these characters in the next book. And she just drops like little hints at their storyline. So following Hallie, who is a middle school principal, Quentin is the football coach, and Hallie's daughter Shania is on the football team. She's the only girl on the football team, and she kind of pulls Quentin aside and she's like, you need to do what you need to do because like my daughter really wants this. You need to help her get to where she like the level that she needs to achieve. Shortly after that, they find out that Quentin is actually Hallie's daughter's father. So what happened is when she was young, like 21, Hallie went to the sperm bank and got a donation because at that point both her parents had died and she felt lonely and she just really wanted somebody to love. And yes, that part is just over the top and ridiculous, and I like how she doesn't ignore it. She does go full on and address it, and it definitely gives like soap opera vibes. Like if you were somebody who ran home after school to watch your soaps, you'll appreciate Cynthia Williams' writing because she definitely taps into that over the topness. And so Quentin was in college playing football. He had heard some of the guys like talk about how you can get easy money donating stuff. He needed money really badly for his family. He made a donation. So fate has brought them together, and now they have to figure out how to parent her daughter Shania, while also they're kind of vibing with each other. This was so good. I really enjoyed it. I think I actually like it more than the last one. And if you are somebody who is looking for more books without the third act breakup, there's no third act breakup here. So that is everything that I read for the month so far. Let me know if any of these sound interesting to you. If you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Thanks so much for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!